if you're not Taiwanese. Okay. All right. Okay. Good. And how long have you been in Taiwan? 4 months? Years? Oh, you? 4 years. How do you like Taiwan? Good? Oh, good. About the years. Great, great, great. And 台湾的同学很多吗？很多嘛，哦，电机系的。Okay. So I'll do this in both English and Mandarin. Okay. Well, first of all, I have to confess. Okay, I'm not a professor, and I'm not a lecturer, so I'm simply here to share my experience. Okay, and when I got the invitation, I started to wonder, to think, what can I really come and share with you all here? And I thought, maybe it's best just for me to come in and share my experience. Okay. So thank you once again for the introduction. No surprise. Okay, I'm a car guy, so what I do, my life is all around cars. So today I'm going to share with you two things: my personal career development and mobility as a whole. This is me. Okay, once again, I'm a car guy. So I run Avis Budget Z Car Taiwan. Do you know what Avis Budget Z Car is? Anybody? Anybody try? Anybody use any of the services? Okay. Then we'll go into it later on. Okay. And I also run 4 dealerships, mainly in Hsinchu and Miaoli areas. And we also have some dealerships in China. And I'm also the president for Keeper Pro Shop Taiwan. It's a Japanese brand, and it's a #1 chain detailing stores in Japan. And after some years of discussion, I brought it back to Taiwan. And I'm also the president for Digital Economy Association Taiwan. Who here has used Foodpanda, Uber Eats? Please raise your hands. I don't believe some of you guys. I don't believe you guys. Everybody must have used Foodpanda, Uber Eats. Okay, how do you survive, right? I bet, every Friday night you sit there and order your fried chicken, shensuji, everything. Okay, starting the sports games and so on. Okay, so this is what we do in the association. And like everybody, I did my master's MBA in University of Queensland in Australia, and I did my undergrad in Griffith, Australia again, international business. Okay, so this is me some years ago. Some years, okay, so don't ask me how many years. Okay, I wanted to share this photo because I think for you guys, especially not Taiwanese, I think this opportunity here in Taiwan, living here, studying here, making friends here, this will be the time that you will remember forever. And I think possibly this might be your best time in your life later on when you think about it. My best time is growing up in Australia. I got to know a lot of Australian friends. I don't know, I guess some of you may be from Philippines, Indonesia maybe. I have a lot of Filipino friends, Indonesian friends. I had a lot of Muslim friends. So, I know a little bit about every culture, so I can talk to you about every little things about your food, your culture, So I think that's the best part of me growing up in different sort of culture or country. So I think please, while you are here, okay, enjoy your time here, mingling with classmates as well as really living the society here. I think that's the good part of, growing up in a different country. So this is me during the day. And I want to show you my typical Monday to Friday.
号称全球最大租车品牌艾维士竟然遇上针对版，经过4年诉讼，总算获得胜诉。
蛮多产生的一些消费纠纷、客户纠纷，尤其是来自于因为消费者混淆的部分，所以我们跟总部决定要采取这个证明的程序。
So during the day, I have to talk like a company president. So this is my daytime job. So I said my profession is driving performance, driving my colleagues, my managers to meet their targets, to exceed what they set up for the year, and so on. My job is to face the media, have microphones right in front of my face, and still talking senses. So that's my training during the day. And I'll share with you, how it came about. And as I said, I'm a car guy. So my business all about cars. My hobby is also about cars. This is me racing on a racetrack. Who here is into cars? Who like cars here? Anybody? 有喜欢车的人吗？可以举手。Raise your hand, please. One guy, we're one guy. Whew. One guy, two guys, three guys. Okay. Man. Okay. See, I told you guys, car guys are dying. Okay. So see, we have like 40, 50 people here, and we only have 2 guys who are into cars. Okay, so I think definitely, the culture is changing, So, my passion is performance driving. I like driving fast. I like pushing my limits on the racetrack. I like losing control, but only on the racetrack. Okay, so drive safely. And yeah, that's me with different cars on the racetrack. So my biggest hobby, driving. But I'm a very contrast person. I like very active, very exciting sports. Oh, okay. I think I might have lost one slide or two, but anyway. So how did I become a car guy? Okay, this is one of my ex-bosses. And this is me having dinner with him, Mr. Yang Erison at Bangkok. I first met Mr. Yang Erison when I was 24, 25. And within 1 year, I was sales director of Volvo Car Taiwan. I was 26. So at the age of 26, I just graduated from my master's within 2 years. I came back to Taiwan to work, and I got hired as the guy who managed sales of Volvo car in Taiwan. So that was my biggest turning point in my life. So this gentleman, is forever my mentor, and in Mandarin he's my Guiran. He turned me from a boy to a gentleman. He turned me from a clerk to an executive. So I think, in your journey of life, you'll bump into people like this. But make sure you know when the chance comes, you need to grab it. Okay. Besides driving, I like cooking. So as I said, I'm very contrast. Okay, and sorry about that. I don't know what happened. My slide jumped. But this is my dishes. Okay, I didn't use restaurant dishes. Okay, so I like cooking, and cooking is my other way of releasing pressure. So I enjoy having friends in my house, family, cooking up a meal for my family. And my cooking, well, I'm a Taiwanese growing up in Australia, but I don't have a style. So my style is international. So I like everything. I like Western, Eastern, I like Indonesian, Filipino, I like everything. So I think that's another great part of multicultural experiences. I also like taking photos. So I think taking photos is a great way to recall, to remember, to I don't really write diaries, but I use photos as my diaries. And today is very easy. You have your phone. Nowadays iPhone is much better than any other camera that you could have. So take a lot of photos. Okay. This is my first job. When I graduated from undergrad university, I came back to Taiwan. I managed a restaurant. Okay, so this is my first society experience. Well, I think I still would encourage any young, ladies or gentlemen to try a restaurant or cafe job opportunity, because you get to meet different people, you get to meet different religion, different cultural background, you meet different dietary requirements. I think restaurant business is a great way to interact with people. I was not very much a people person. I didn't like to talk to strangers. But after the restaurant experience, I could, easily break a conversation. I can talk to a stranger because I think restaurant has that great training. And this is my second job returning from Australia to Taiwan after my MBA. I joined Ford Motor Company in Taiwan. I still remember my very first day of work. I reported to. It was January 10th, 2001. So you probably could, guess my age now. But so, gosh, it's like 21 years ago. I first joined Ford Motor Company, and I think as I said, restaurant business is a good way to meet people. And if you have a chance to join a multinational corporate, please do not miss the opportunity, because there's a reason why these brands, companies, they operate in different continents, different countries. You see Ford in Taiwan, you see Ford in Philippines, you see Ford in Indonesia, you see Ford in the States, you see Ford in Europe. So how they manage people, how they grow talents, how they raise managers, I think it definitely had a lot of impact on me today as a business owner. So, like I said, I think you are doing your master's for a reason, okay? You are starting in a different country for a reason. So use that advantage and try and get a job that gives you a different horizon. And then I went to China, okay? After Volvo, you saw earlier. I went to China to do cosmetics. Very different, okay? I thought I could sell cars, I could market cars, I could, do anything. So I went to China to do cosmetics. And to be honest with you all, this is my first major failure in my life. Okay, I tripped. Because when I was running a cosmetic company as the CEO, all these incidents happened in China. So nobody wanted anything, food, beverage, cosmetics made in China. So the company quickly had to switch business directions. So I went from a cosmetic company CEO to a job hunter on the market. And lucky enough, I got a few phone calls, and I went for a few interviews. And then I met this gentleman. This gentleman at the time was president of Asia Pacific. Mr. Xavier Jimmy, he hired me when I was, I think 31 years old to manage Avis China. So once again, I got back into corporate, and I had the opportunity as a corporate executive, flying around, different countries. I was presenting China, Avis China in Turkey, Istanbul. I had the chance to meet, colleagues, customers from different countries, and once again, it gave me a lot of nutritious, for my own personal growth. And what's all this to do with, the future? When I was in China, running Avis China, I got a surprise visit from my parents. As Mr. Wang has introduced, I also manage 4 dealerships in Hsinchu and Miaoli. That's my family business, and this year is 40 years. So my father started the dealership 40 years ago, and in 2010, 2011, my parents flew to Shanghai. They sat in my living room and said, we are not getting younger, we're getting old, so we need your help. So I had to resign. I had to tell my boss, I had to resign. I had to go back to Taiwan. And he held my resignation on the desk for 6 months. Later, then he said, you can go back to Taiwan. But the surprise is, you have to open up Avis Taiwan. So that led to my own personal startup business, Avis Taiwan. This is my father, okay? If you had a chance to see me and my father standing, talking, you are very lucky, because situation like this won't last for 10 minutes, because we are very different people, okay? We rarely see eye to eye on different things. So, one has to back down. So, the result is my father backed down. So, I think, handling family business at the same time starting your own business is very tough. But, I'm here to share with you the journey. After about 10, 11 years, we were on the stage hosting company dinner. For a very long time, we never had a chance to do so. But I think the wisdom behind this photo is, I think, I want to share a story with you guys. Once a wise gentleman told me a story. He said that, you've seen Lion King, right? The movie, the cartoon, okay? When a young Lion King is growing up, the old Lion King has to resign. So I told my father the Lion King story. So basically I told him, you have to resign, otherwise, there's no Simba. So he did. So I'm now in charge, but it's bumpy, the process. I want to share with you. I showed you the photo, but you didn't see these 2 gentlemen, and you don't see them now in my company. These 2 gentlemen used to be the GM and vice president of my dealership. And this conversation we had was him asking me, do you have any idea what the hell you're doing? Because I told him I'm going to fire this guy and I'll fire this guy. So he's like, are you sure? You know what you're doing? You messed up. I said, you have to leave it to me, or you keep doing it yourself. So I had my way, but I told him before I fired these 2 guys, I interviewed this guy for 6 months. I still have my old GM, but this guy comes to my office, we have coffee for 6 months, and then I invited his family, his wife and son, for lunch. And that night he called me, he said, hey Andy, my wife said that you will be the boss for me until I retire. So this guy has been working with me, running my dealership as general manager for 6 years. By the way, you know where Taipei is, right? he drives from Taipei to Hsinchu to work every day for 6 years now, every day. So he's very committed. So what we have done is we have built a group from just one dealership to Avis budget zip car and to Keeper later on I'll introduce. So what do we do? HM, as I told everybody, it's a dealership we founded in 1983. We sell 4 vehicles. We have 7 outlets. And Avis budget zip car, you see everywhere. I bet you. Everywhere you go, first thing you get out of the airport is seeing Avis or budget. Okay? And zip car is for car sharing. And Jasper handles Keeper. Keeper is the car detailing chain, #1 in Japan. So together with Mr. Cooper Gu, we been working to transform this company, started in 1983, it looks like this, in 1980s, to, from this gentleman's era to this gentleman, and a lot of transition, sales target, everything, to this. This is a later we got in 2016. We were recognized by Ford Global as top 0.65% dealer globally. So that's like 77 dealers globally out of 11,000 dealerships worldwide, top. And we were the only one in Asia. So I think that's a very, very big recognition for us. So I think, I wanted to share this because we transform a local company to an internationally recognized operation. So I think that's my first milestone. And then, as I told you, I came back to Taiwan. I also started up Avis Taiwan in 2012. In the Avis group, we call Avis Budget Group. I always said that if you see a map like this, when you see red bits, we have Avis. So we definitely have operation in Philippines, Indonesia, everywhere, Thailand, Australia, New Zealand, Europe, in Thailand, America, Africa. And when you travel, you see all these different brands. It's all owned by the Avis Group. So we are the biggest mobility solution provider group globally. You probably don't know what Avis is, but you must have seen this movie or know who this gentleman is. Do you know what this movie is? Okay. Yeah. So, they were having a family holiday and they wanted to rent a car. So they found Avis. And I have to go back to this movie for you guys. Okay, we have a technical issue here. The movie is not playing, but I can tell you basically, you all know James Bond, right? 007. He wanted to rent a car, and guess where he went to? Avis. So Avis is an international brand, everybody recognized. Okay, now we are really stuck. I always tell people when you do presentation, always prepare 2 notebooks because you never know when the computer is going to crash. And now we have a technical issue. Okay, we have a little break. Who has a question for me? Anybody? Oh, I'll start picking anyone for questions. Anyone? Any issue you want to ask me before we fix the computer? Yes. Thank you.
I just have one question for you.
Yes.
When you hired that guy to
Yes.
be your general manager,
Yes.
can I ask, why 6 months?
Well, I think I was making a very major decision. I was basically hiring a general manager. Oh, Okay, the movie might be playing. So, I think the decision was big enough for me to be very, very careful. Because first of all, we are a dealership that has track record. We've been very good, at least in Taiwan, and you see we are recognized by Ford globally as a very good dealership. So I think I have to maintain the performance and heritage. And at the same time, I couldn't make a random rush decision. So I interview or have coffee, lunch, dinner with this guy, just simply to get to know him. And for him to have a chance to get to know me. Because I think I always tell people, I see maybe this guy more time every day than I see my wife and kids. So we have to work together, we have to be like buddies. He really needs to know what I think. So from that day till today, I don't really have to worry about my dealership operation. So I think it's that process, you try to make sure that you hire the right person. And then you can move on to the next decision, firing the existing guy. So that's why it took 6 months. I was being very careful, okay? Okay, don't worry. Next slide. Okay. So this company, we have 250 people at peak, but it started with 7 people. So remember, at the same time, I run 4 dealerships. On the other hand, I had to start up my own company, Avis Taiwan. So this is me some years ago in 2012, and my first decision was, where was my team? Where could I find my managers, my general manager, my first line of, executives? So I made phone calls. I called my ex-colleague, Mr. Red Ho. When I was sales and marketing of Volvo Car Taiwan, he was CFO. Anita was my assistant when I was at Volvo Car Taiwan. Tina was my logistic manager when I was the sales director. So basically, starting from 4 people, we started building up the team from 4 to 7 to 250. From 10 cars to about 4,500 cars in about 5 years. So my other sharing for you is hiring someone, taking 6 months to interview as a GM, starting up a new company, maybe think about your friends or your ex-colleagues, people you have worked with before. So after a few years, we have been winning the best car rental company in Taiwan, awarded by World Travel Awards for 3 years consecutively. So I think, having a good team is very important. Having the right person, right people to manage your business is definitely crucial. So what do? We do car rental. So when you travel, you go to different country, you go to Taiwan, you go to Hualien, you go to Kaohsiung, you take the high-speed railway, and you come out and take our cars. You drive away. But we also do leasing, corporate leasing. So companies now don't have to buy cars, they lease cars. We do chauffeur. So, when I land Manila, I have someone picking me up, dropping me at the hotel. Same thing here in Taiwan. People come to airport, we take them to TSMC, we take them to different companies in the science park. And then we introduce another brand, Budget. Okay, what's Budget in comparison to Avis? Everybody knows Toyota, right? Everybody knows Lexus, right? So Lexus is like Avis. Toyota is like Budget. For different people, different audience. So we wanted to make sure different audience has, the right brand and right products for them. And then we introduced Zipcar, car sharing. Who knows car sharing? Pardon me?